I'm Sam.
And I'm Greg.
We're human beings. And we like movies.
We'll be doing reviews of brand new releases,
Old classics,
entire sagas,
and even TV shows and video games.
This is Reaction Time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 78 of Reaction Time podcast. How are you today, Sam?
I'm good, Craig. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Today, we are talking about Monkey Man, which is directed by Dev Patel.
Dev
Patel. Dang it.
Dave is a white person's name.
Shut up.
But yes, first film he ever directed.
Yeah.
He's done 2 shorts.
Okay.
But so have I. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kidding. His shorts were probably much higher produced. But let me just come out swinging with saying this is an incredible directorial debut.
It is.
Dude.
It's a really good debut.
Solid work. So not only did he direct this, but he starred in it.
Yeah.
And
is he the
wrote
main
it.
person?
Yep.
Okay,
and he wrote
that's what
it
I
and he produced it with Jordan Peele and some others. But he
props
did it
to
all.
him.
Yeah.
Another thing that I will say, his acting was fantastic.
Really good. So what's cool, I think, about this is I feel like it's relatively rare to have... I think it's kind of common to have a director who also is the star or at least an actor. But the fact that he's not only that, but he also is fighting so much in this movie, it's everything. It's so involved.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like this is way more involved in a movie than anybody has ever been. And that's probably not true, but to write it and then produce it and to direct it and to star in it and to have to practice your fight choreography and to do all of that is crazy. So good for him.
Yeah, because it's kind of like A Quiet Place with John Krasinski, but there's not crazy fights in A Quiet Place, you know? Yeah. He had to learn sign language, and that was probably about it.
Yeah, which is still a lot, but...
Yeah.
But this is just, I think, a whole new level.
Okay, so when I picture a director, right? They're watching the scenes play out, and then they're making adjustments to stuff. How do you think he directed his own fight scenes? Was there somebody else watching him saying
this is my
how can
this
you
is my guess
and act and do fight at the same time?
Yeah, this is my guess. Also, no spoilers here at the beginning in case you're worried.
No.
My guess is that what you do, honestly, is you do the scene, and it might take longer, but you do the scene and then you go watch it back.
And you rewatch it.
You know?
Yeah.
But, you're also probably giving notes because you're in it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think a lot of it is that. And then, because I think in a lot of ways, the directing, we think is kind of everything. But I think especially more so nowadays, I think directing is a lot more performance and beat-based. And then I think the cameraman actually has a little bit more control than we might think over maybe how the shot should be framed. And I'm sure they collaborate a lot. But I'm just saying he probably doesn't need to set up the shot for the cameraman. Because if that was the case, it'd almost be you don't need to hire a great cameraman because you just have somebody come click a button. So I think as far as cinematography goes, it's probably quite a collaboration between the two. That's a guess. I don't know.
Okay. That makes sense. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They do more than just hold the camera. They have to be able to position the camera.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Very cool shot choices in this movie. Camera work is very well done.
Yeah.
The story is a bit confusing right at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then it mostly works through everything to where you fully understand it.
I didn't end up confused about the story. There were certain plot points that I feel maybe I missed or that didn't get explained super well. But I feel the wrap-up of everything, I totally understood what was going on.
A pretty cool soundtrack. There was some
dude, really good soundtrack.
There were some cool beats in this in this movie.
Soundtrack. Yeah. Okay. Do you like it? You like the movie?
Yeah, I do like the movie. There's 2 things that slightly bugged me, but they're more spoilery, so we'll get into that later.
Okay.
But not one kind of, it didn't really take me out, but it was just we'll get into it.
Okay.
But not like horrible. It wasn't like this movie's ruined because of this or anything like that. I guess I just would have wished there was a little bit more with it. But I mean, to me, it's not a super long movie. I felt it could have been a teeny bit shorter at times, and then other times I could have felt like it could have dragged out for like 2 more hours because there's some really cool scenes, and then there's kind of just some story that's good, but maybe not like super engaging. So, but I would still give it pretty high.
Yeah, what would you give it out of 10?
It is good. It's another, good fighting movie up there with like John Wick and Nobody or Jason Bourne or anything like that. So I would give it a solid 9.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe 9.1, but like right
That's
there.
fair. Dude, honestly, maybe it was my mood, but I'm going to give this a 9.6.
Heck yeah.
I thought this was so good. And at the beginning, I was like, I think the movie just literally was on an up and up the entire time. I think it just got better and better and better and better and better. And there were... Here's the thing. There were things that I guess you could consider a slow part, but those were the parts that were explaining to me why certain things were happening. And like there's a lot of like, different flashback stuff and I don't know, just it got better and better. The fights got better and better. And just once you kind of understand everything that happened and then you get kind of to the climax of the movie, it's so good.
It's cool.
And I felt this is why I give it such high ratings is because I felt the same way watching this as I do watching John Wick, but the story of this was great. And the story of John Wick is like not better. Great. You know what I mean? No, it's a fun story, but
I would say this is almost middle ground. I think John Wick has better overall action sequences, like as a whole.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even better, maybe just more, I guess.
Yeah.
This one had not a ton, but when they were there, they were really, really cool.
Yeah.
Right? But the story's way better than John Wick, except for the first one. I think the first John Wick story is great, right?
Which one's the first one? Is that because they steal his car or kill his dog?
Kill his dog. It's just a beautiful motivation that's not like something dumb. It's just like, dude, you killed his dog. Like,
right.
I'm sorry, but you're going to die.
But at the same time, you look at that and you're like, wow, what a killing spree for somebody killing your dog.
Come on, dude. But it was a dog from his wife. I mean, it makes sense.
I know. Yeah.
So I like that story, right? Because it's like, to me, that's a great motivation. You kidding me? Someone kills my dog? Oh, you're dang right. I'm going on a killing spree. Especially such a cute dog.
Yeah.
So, and then Nobody is almost like, I would almost say like the Bourne ones, where it's like almost a perfect combination of story and action. The Bourne movies are very, very good, especially the last one. Well, the third one, technically, not the last one. But this I felt like if they made another one, I don't know how you really could, but if they did, and like, then it would be like, oh my gosh, like this is super, super, super cool, right?
Yeah.
This was kind of like the intro, but it was still freaking awesome. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah,
9.1 is not a bad movie,
No. I think John Wick's a lot of gunfighting. I mean, there's plenty of hand-to-hand combat, but it's a lot of gunfighting. And this one's cool because it's a lot of hand and knife.
Yeah.
There is some gun, but it's like a lot of hand-to-hand combat. And I think it's super well done.
Yeah, it's like Nobody.
Really, really well done.
Way more kind of hand-to-hand stuff.
Yeah. And cool, and just in cool settings, because it felt like it had a lot of similar kind of settings just visually to what John Wick has. These cool, dark, modern, foreign
neon
rooms,
lights.
Neon lights and stuff like that. And I love that they even mentioned. I love that they even mentioned John Wick in the movie too. He's like, "Do you like John Wick?" I'm like, "Oh, cool." So,
perfect. 10 out of 10.
but I like I think this is good because it's not a unique story, right? This story has been around in film for decades, right? Where it's like, It's it's avenging something story, right?
Right.
And it's not unique in that aspect, but it's cool because one, it's Indian. Like I think that makes it really unique.
Yeah.
Not that we don't have 6 billion Bollywood movies that are this on steroids, but it's unique in that aspect. And so there's a lot of cool just like culture that plays into this that makes it feel unique.
Culture.
I think in a lot of ways this movie wouldn't be quite as fun or maybe quite as impactful if it was just like America.
Right.
Making it India, making, having culture and all of that kind of played a part into the way this movie feels.
Right.
And then just just how everything plays out is really cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, totally recommend it. It's on Netflix?
Netflix. No.
Is that where we watched it? No?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah?
Oh, or is it on Peacock?
No. Oh, yeah. No, it's on Peacock.
It's on Peacock.
Yeah. Because it had ads at the beginning.
It is great. It is great. If you like John Wick, I'm pretty positive you'll have a good time with this movie.
Oh, yeah. If you like a fighting movie.
Yeah, John Wick, Nobody. Those are the kind of two that I'd say it's more similar to. It doesn't have the mystery of the Bourne movies.
It's more aggressive fighting of Nobody and John Wick.
Yeah.
Where Jason Bourne's
it's kind of all
just
spelled
hand-to-hand.
out for you, but yeah, it's really cool. Okay. Anything else? Non-spoilery?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Give it a watch.
Is rated. This rated
R.
It's rated R for language
it's R
and gore.
Yeah.
And
there's I think there
really
was
slight nudity.
Yeah, like a quick scene of a side profile of a girl. But blink and you miss it.
But it's everything else is pretty dope
cool
and mild. But okay. So, sir, let's jump into the visuals.
Oh, let's do it.
Okay, my first thing. I know this is kind of deep into the movie, but the short little funny friend guy, he takes him into the parking garage and he's like, look at this beauty.
Oh, yeah.
And they get into the fastest little tuk-tuk ever.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
That's got
it's so
turbo
funny.
on it.
Turbo tuk-tuk. It's like, if for anybody who doesn't know, tuk-tuk's like a little, in South America, I think they're called moto taxis. It's like the little three-wheeler
go-kart, a golf cart
thing that you get
it's
rides
like a
in the
golf
city
cart.
Yeah, it's a three-wheeler golf cart. But that was really funny.
It totally felt like a thing on Italian Job where they do all the Mini Coopers.
Yeah.
It felt like, what extreme thing can we do here that would just be hilarious, but so cool at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first scene that I have written down, and so this is it. It's a little weird. This movie, at very random times, was super funny, but it wasn't really a funny movie. So I liked it, but I was also a little confused because there's a scene, and I was laughing, but I was also like, that's super realistic, and I think you're meaning it to be funny, but also why I don't know. So all the people are chasing him, and he's run upstairs. He sees this window, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go jump out of it. And he runs up to the window, and he jumps at it, and he just falls down, and the window doesn't break. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. I think
I'm assuming they meant it to be funny because it was.
Honestly, this is what I think. In my head, it's not meant to be funny or meant to not be funny. It's just meant to be realistic. You know what I mean? It is inherently funny.
But the way they shot it, it's like a still shot of him going to the window, hitting it, and then he just falls out of camera view. So it felt like it was supposed to be funny.
That's true.
But I was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't know we were going to be funny, but I loved it because it was more realistic, right?
Yeah.
You're not just always going to be able to just jump through a window, right? And so, but I was so caught off guard because I was like, not expecting that to happen at all, which good for them because they totally got me. And then it proceeded to make the fight scene and stuff cooler. So I understand why they did it. But I was like, is there a little bit of Jordan Peele coming through right here? Like,
I know. Yeah. It absolutely could be.
He paid for the money to be like, don't break that window. And that's it.
So that's right after the bathroom fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that bathroom fight was really cool and very reminiscent of Mission Impossible 5? 6.
Yep.
I knew it was 6.
When Henry Cavill pumps his fist.
Yeah. It's terrifying. But really cool. Just also, I love that he gives him freaking bleach cocaine.
Right.
And it doesn't do anything to him because he's that drugged up.
Yeah, it does like a teeny bit, and that's about it.
But there's some hardcore stuff in that scene. But the worst one is when he slams the guy's face down on the diarrhea-infested toilet and just smashes his face into it. That would hurt so bad. Yeah. You would so die.
It'd be hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And so gross.
Yeah. But that was a good fight scene.
It was a good fight scene.
It was like well choreographed, but still felt really raw.
Right.
Which I think is hard to find the balance of. So it was cool.
Right. So this is story, but where you're kind of talking about it, this plays into it. That's one of the, again, really not like that big of an issue, but like one of my bigger issues was it felt like he went from, because in that scene, like he's kind of shaking with the gun. Like, I mean, he's never fired one before, right? I mean, he goes out in the back and starts firing at like the freaking poster, right?
Yeah.
So he's pretty dang new to the gun. I mean, obviously he gets better and better at it, but he's kind of like shaking, like, is he going to kill him? Is he not going to kill him? Does he have it in him? You know, like he's losing these fights and stuff. And then it's like, I feel like the next scene and he's just murdering everybody. And I was like, it felt like it flipped a bit too fast for me.
Gotcha.
To where it felt like he was more like, oh, I don't know. Do I have the guts to kill him? You know, I want to avenge my mom and like stuff like that. But then it was just like, oh, now I'm basically have become John Wick or Hutch at this point from nobody. I know he does the training. I know there's that whole like montage, right?
Yeah.
But it just felt like this total shift in the way he was being shown as more of like he's shown as like a very kind guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's got like a dark past to him and you figure out what it is. And what happens, I totally understand, but it felt a little bit like it felt out of the blue that all of a sudden he's just like destroying everybody and just murdering everybody all the time. And I was like, whoa, dang, that like flipped hard. So I wish they would have explored that maybe a teeny bit more.
Yeah.
I guess for me personally.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even notice that, but yeah. Okay, so when he gets into like the axe fight with that guy, that was dope.
And that was terrifying.
It's so scary. I feel like that's not something that is shown much. Like I feel like it's always gun, hands, or knives, or like maybe some metal rod of some sort. But I feel like rarely in hand-to-hand combat does somebody have a full-on axe. And it wasn't a hatchet.
Full-on axe.
It was an axe.
No, it was a full-on axe.
And it was cool. And then I believe he ends up sticking that axe into somebody's neck.
Yes.
So that was nice.
And it was beautiful.
That was my skewering for this movie.
Yeah, it's a skewer.
Yeah. But that was really cool.
Hitting the guy's head on the emergency brake.
Yeah.
The glass.
And you get
thing.
the view from inside of the glass.
Yep.
Really cool. Great shot choice.
Cool. So the other thing that I actually did enjoy, but I was a little confused by, this is like towards the end, but he's wearing the mask and he comes up to the place where they all work. And he just like stands there, right? And he's got the mask on and they're like, "Who are you?" And then he just takes the mask off and proceeds to kill everybody. And I'm like, what was the point of the mask? But it was
giving
also
him
kind of the
powers.
coolest
It's
thing
symbolic.
ever. Yeah, but keep the mask on and murder people with a monkey mask.
You can't see as good with the mask
come
on.
You can murder people anyways.
That's true. There's a part where he's running away from everybody and he's running across the rooftops and then he like jumps into the water. That was the only part of the movie where I noticed bad CGI.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't good. I guess I didn't
even notice it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that was bad. I actually rewound it to make sure it was bad, and it was.
Okay.
So, but that was really the only, honestly, maybe the only like CGI that was even noticeable at all.
Okay. I guess the only thing I was thinking about in that scene was, and this is kind of the only other thing that I was like a little bit, and again, it's fine, but I was like, how did he get out of that? There was helicopters. There was cop cars. I know he fell in the water. But that doesn't mean they just stopped looking for him.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
I was like, the helicopter was following on the rooftop. You see the light from the helicopter on the rooftop, and he falls in the water, and then it's like, he just wakes up in a new place. It's like, probably no.
So, after all this happens, he goes back to his little village. And, we get a lot of flashbacks. We see his mom burning, which was intense. That whole thing, just what happens with his mom is super intense.
Yep.
And then he goes back and starts fighting again to, like, train. And it is one of my favorite parts of the movie. The huge guy walks in, like ready to fight. It's like this huge dude. I think it is. Or maybe it's the first guy. I can't remember. But anyway, somebody walks in to fight and it's like they're ready to go and they ring the bell and the guy walks up to him and he just roundhouse kicks him in the face and knocks him out.
So that's not the huge dude.
No, it's the first guy and then the huge dude comes out afterwards.
The huge dude comes next, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. But
that was one kick so and he's done.
One kick to the head and he's done. And it's so fast.
So fast.
I rewound several parts of this movie because I like missed it. I was I was just like sitting there watching it and then I was like, wait, this guy's down. What happened? So I literally went back and rewatched it.
Well, the cool thing about that too is if you haven't seen it, he had lost every single fight from that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was he meant to do that. But then he goes up against the guy and he roundhouse kicks him once and he's done.
Yeah.
And then he fights the big guy. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have 3 more notes. I don't know if you have more.
I have 2 more.
Okay. Him, so he's infiltrated the place and they're serving all of this like super gourmet, like nice stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
First off, I thought about the bear, and then because all the food, like the food in there, and then he takes this guy, and he's bashed his head against the stove, and it's a gas stove, and he takes this alcohol bottle and smashes it on this gas stove that is lit, and just burns the guy's face off, and it was so cool,
dude.
One of the sickest kills.
My next note just says kitchen fight scene, heart eyes emoji, heart eyes emoji, heart eyes emoji. Okay. First of all, I love a good kitchen fight scene because there's so many tools that you can use.
Tenet,
exactly. The cheese grater to the face will live with me forever. It's so good because you can feel it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You just think cheese grater to the face and it's like, But so there's a few cool things in that fight, but one of my favorites, and I think, maybe it's not in the Bourne movie, because in the Bourne movie, he takes a dictionary and holds it up to the guy's face and punches it, or not a dictionary, a thick book, and he punches it, which would hurt your nose so bad. But in this, he smacks someone with a silver platter, and then he puts it by their throat, and then he like palms it.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Breaking the jugular. But just, such a good, like it's enclosed. You're hitting people with pots and pans. And it's great. It's a great fight scene. It was
a very delicious scene.
Just all the way through that was like the most John Wick scene in the movie was just fighting his way through this building.
Yeah, and it was fantastic.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the other one that I have, I don't know if this is your note, but this was one of the craziest scenes for me. So, is it the main villain guy?
The police chief?
I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think it is. I think it's somebody else. But basically, he stabs this guy in the neck with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy has him in like this chokehold, right? And so he kind of like can't get out. But he had stabbed this guy in the neck, and then the guy's holding him. And so he turns his head and he grabs the knife with his mouth and like pulls it across his neck to like slit his throat. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't think that was well, maybe it was the
I don't
police
think
chief.
that was the chief.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. But he just takes it. He just takes his mouth and just freaking uses it to,
It's so cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Just him. Yeah, so he kills the police chief, works his way up all the way to the top story, and then he opens it up. One other cool thing is it felt kind of like Black Panther-y for a second when his posse shows up. And I'm like, this is like Black Panther and the Dora Milaje just, in the casino or whatever. It kind of felt like that. But yeah, and then he gets to the final guy, this old evil Hitler mayor guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Indian Hitler, I guess.
Yeah.
And, just really good dialogue and then just death.
Yeah.
Death via really giant toothpick.
Yeah. How did that work?
You stab somebody, then they die.
Well, no. I get that. But the sandals. So basically, he's got these sandals that he says like somebody like hand carved for him or whatever.
Yeah, he says, they're called my sandals.
Yeah.
You've never seen that? You've never seen that video?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's this little kid, and so he says, because what are those with the Crocs?
Oh,
what are those? Well, they say to this little kid, and he goes, they're called my sandals. It's really funny. Anyway.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'll send it to you.
But yeah, it's just where the big toe and the pointer toe, what the heck is that toe called? Pointer toe? Separates
it's not a pointer toe, but...
Well, it's a pointer finger, pointer toe, But
I guess it would be the pointer if your big toe's your thumb. I guess it would be your pointer toe. Weird. Hate that. I've never pointed at anything with this toe.
I'm gonna start pointing at everything now.
Yeah, it's over there.
But yeah, so that like thing that separates it can come out, and it's like a freaking knife thing. But how does it stay in, and how does it come out?
That's like, the age-old question. The secrets lie within
work?
The country of India. I don't know.
Okay, I'll call them up. Ask.
Do you think they both died? He got stabbed in the heart, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it would be a good fitting end.
Yeah.
He's killed everybody he needed to kill, really.
He did his revenge.
And he's got nothing to live for, so.
He's going to die anyways from all the people after him, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last note that I have is I just like when he gets to the last guy and the elevator opens and it's just this red elevator, but it's like his black silhouette against it.
So good.
Very, very cool design choice.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful movie.
So, it was super good.
So what are you thinking for score on your visuals?
It was really... $198.
Cool.
Yeah. I had zero really issues with this movie.
Yeah. I'm going to give it $199, and I'm only taking the point off for the rooftop CGI.
Yeah.
And that's it. Otherwise, I think it was incredible. Really good fight choreography and really good blood. I think good blood is underrated, but when you see bad blood and then you see good blood, it makes a big difference. Because you go from feeling like a Zack Snyder movie to feeling like a real good movie, And
you never want to be a Zack Snyder movie.
You do not want to be a Zack Snyder movie.
No.
Okay, so let's jump into talking about the story. So I got something big I got to say.
Okay.
Is this movie Nacho Libre rated R? He can't win the fights, and then there's the training montage, and he does all these fights, but he wins to give the money to the orphans, and he wins the big fight. It's Nacho Libre. The whole time I was thinking that. And at the beginning, he's like, I don't want to get paid to lose. I want to win. I'm pretty sure he says that. And so I'm just intrigued, I think. And it's also Hot Rod too. You know, he does the punch dancing his rage out in a wooded glen. Pretty much happens in this movie. And then he wins. He jumps the jump. He fights Frank and kills him. So
I makes him poop his pants.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know the police chief pooped his pants in this movie. Guaranteed.
I just need somebody to recreate this movie and just have Jack Black's face on the main character, on the main guy.
Dude, that would be amazing. Bro, every time he goes to put on the monkey mask, it's just the wrestling mask. And just do that and then replace the soundtrack with I am, da, 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 I am. It would be great. It would be great.
Dude, that'd be amazing.
But yeah, it's very similar
to Nacho Libre.
Similar idea of a plot, but one's more violent and the other one is Monkey Man.
And way darker.
Yeah, and darker.
Yeah, Nacho Libre's mom doesn't get beaten to death and then burned alive.
We don't know that. She is dead.
You know, that is true. We don't know
We just know that his mother was my father was a missionary from Mexico, and my mother was something from Guadalupe. What does he say? They tried to convert each other, but they got married instead. And then they died. So good.
Have I ever told you that my brother-in-law's cousin's the one that directed that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
Let's go. Okay, so I don't have a ton of notes for the story.
Me neither. I got a few.
The story was super cool. I like at the beginning when the mom, his mom, the main guy's mom, is reading this story to him about this monkey man guy that basically eats the sun and gets like these powers, but then the gods are angry with him, and so they take his powers away. Mm-hmm. And then the kid just asks, then what happened? I like how it just like cut away right after that and then goes to him and does the whole story. Because it was like, oh, that's cool. That's like his story, right?
Yeah.
Just a cool way to open it.
Yeah. I like the story a lot. I like that it's just kind of, in a way, it's very basic. Like the corrupt government comes, kind of burns this village down, kills this guy's mom, and then he decides to go seek revenge. And he finds the people he needs to find. My only thing that I don't understand is one, and maybe I missed it. Maybe you can fill me in. One, why did it take him so long? And two, how did he make the connection between the fighting and working at the prostitute hotel? That I never figured out, but maybe
I don't know
it was
why
like
it took so long.
Yeah, it could have been one quick line of dialogue, but
found out all of that.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's okay. It doesn't ruin it for me.
It doesn't ruin it, yeah. But it would have been maybe a little bit more like, oh, yeah.
But it's a classic revenge story, and I think it's done well. They didn't overcomplicate it at all, which I like.
No, and that's like the first John Wick, right?
Yeah.
And that's why the first John Wick is so good. People kill his dog, he seeks revenge, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as they start opening up the high table and all that other kind of stuff, it's like,
the Continental, the high table.
Yeah, okay, slow down. It's a bit too much. I just want to see Keanu Reeves murder a bunch of people and not talk because his acting's horrible.
Yeah, he's so bad. This guy was like Indian John Wick, but like really good at acting.
But could actually act, yeah.
Yeah.
I love how he trains the dog to bring the gun.
Yeah, that's literally my only other story note.
Where's the dog? Where's the dog, bro?
If he dies, the dog's just back to being a homeless dog, which...
Bro, 0 out of 10 then.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
You can't do that to the dog. And then my other note was asking how the sandals work, but we already talked about that. So.
Yeah. But I thought it was a good story, and I thought it was a good balance between story and action.
Yeah.
And it was a little heavy on the action in a good way. But it was really, I mean, I feel like it was pretty split down the middle.
Yeah.
Between the story and the action. And you know what? I know that a training montage in a lot of ways is maybe kitschy or cheesy or cliche, but are there any bad training montages?
Well, and here's the other reason why I actually really enjoyed this training montage, and this goes in sound, but the guy playing like the bongos or whatever to like the beat to like teach him basically how to fight, that was super cool.
So cool.
That was cool.
It's like Kung Fu Panda.
It kept it fresh.
This movie is Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, this movie's Kung Fu Panda.
It's Kung
He
Fu
loves
Panda,
food.
Nacho Libre Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rated R.
Rated R.
So I did like the training montage.
Yeah.
So again, the only couple things that I had was, one, how did he not get caught? And two, and again, it wasn't even that he was a great fighter all of a sudden, because they showed that from the beginning. It just felt like for me, it felt like his thought process just switched.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why, it didn't, if anything, he had a realization when he took that stuff at the colony and he rips open his chest. That was the only other thing that I thought was a little funky. It just looked a little weird. It
was a little
not
druggy.
Like bad, but it was a little weird. But he has that whole like realization thing, and I guess I thought it was going to go a little bit different, but it was just like, oh, now I am just the greatest fighter ever, and I'm just going to murder a bunch of people. So, still a really cool story. I liked how they did it. I liked the flashbacks. I did feel like they had a lot of hype up to what happened. And I felt like sometimes when they do that and they show the backstory, it's like, oh, that was it. You know, this one didn't feel like that. This one felt like, oh, damn. Okay. I understand why. Like that makes sense,
Yeah. And then I feel like they also capitalized and delivered on kind of the anger or whatever you feel as an audience member too, because it's like you see this horrific thing that happens, and then sometimes there's just not a good payoff after that, and this one was like a really good payoff.
Oh yeah.
So I like that they really made it pretty intense and stuff after that.
Yeah.
So you could feel it all the way.
So I'll do a 188.
I was gonna do a 189.
Nice.
It was really good. I mean, there were like no times where I was like, oh, I hate this or that's stupid or whatever. Like
no,
there just wasn't any of that. So I think they did a really good job. Okay, so acting.
Did you not like anybody?
No, I liked everybody.
Yeah. Even the lady in charge of the whole thing. I thought she did great.
She was good kind of spooky boss lady.
The ring arena guy, the main one, the announcer, he reminded me of Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's been in, but he did good. I liked him. The police chief did great. All the people that he meet did great. And the dog, did 10
great
out
dog.
of 10.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
What are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a 200, honestly.
Nice.
What are you giving it?
The main guy, I'm giving it 200. Overall, I'll do a 199. Because, he excelled, but everybody else was just fine.
Okay.
Nobody, took me out.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, he was oh my gosh, acting,
Yeah.
So, he did really good.
Okay, so the score and sound, like we mentioned earlier, this had a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
And
this was
super diverse.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good.
This was what's that other movie? There's another movie that did this same thing where it takes place in a different country, but they have like famous songs, but done in like a different country's version.
Did we review it?
I swear we did.
It was Japanese.
Yeah.
And it was
Bullet Train. It was Bullet Train.
There you go.
Yeah, because he's at the like the club. So basically, there's this club where all the girls, get with these guys, and the guys pay all this money and stuff, and you don't have to put on the red light was going on in the background. And I was like, oh, dang, that's a great song choice. But it was like an Indian version of that song. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. I loved how diverse it was because you'd go into one scene and it was just straight rap, like really, really cool. And then you go into another and it's just what you think of as Indian music. I'm sure there's a name for it, but...
And rave music.
Yeah, and then rave music. And then... I don't know. It just changed a lot, and it always fit really, really well. They did a really good job, meshing the two, soundtrack and score. The thing I thought was the most interesting was the final. I call it the final fight, even though it's several fights, right? It's just kind of a sequence of him almost beating the final bosses, What was really interesting is the music started a little, not really intense, but like, it was like just what you'd kind of expect, and then it just got softer and softer and softer. And then it was this super soft, like classical Indian harp music, like really soft. And then once he got really intense with the police chief, silence. So just like the music, as the fighting got more intense, started dying down. And I don't know if I've ever seen that before or heard that before.
No, it's usually the reverse.
Yeah, it was really cool because I feel like what it was doing was sucking you into, it was like giving you tunnel vision into this fight almost.
Right.
So I thought that was
You take
really
away all that
interesting.
noise and you're just focused on the sound of the knives and the punching and all that other kind of stuff. It's cool.
Yeah. So it's really
almost
cool.
like it's almost like they were trying to bring it back to the ring arena matches.
Yeah.
Where it's like no music and just them fighting type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. I liked it. Yeah.
What are you going to give it?
I'll give it a 190.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 199.
Nice.
Literally the entire movie, I was like, this is so good. This is such a good soundtrack. If I'm commenting out loud how good something is during a movie, it's going to score highly for me because when something is even average or slightly above average, I kind of forget about it. And I think those are the movies where it's like, oh man, I forgot to listen to the soundtrack, right? And it's like, okay, maybe I did forget to listen to it, but if it was really good, it would come to me. Right? I wouldn't have to actively listen for it. So I think that's why this kind of scores so high for me on that.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I props to them. And great. Just good job. Good job by Dev Patel. I mean, awesome.
Really good job.
So I'm excited for whatever he has next.
I know. Let's talk about your vibe.
Okay.
Where are you at?
I'm high.
Yeah, high on life.
High on life, dude. I mean, yeah, I got my couple issues about the story and stuff, but it never really, it didn't fully take me out or anything like that, other than just how much it flipped. It was like a little bit sudden, which I'm usually like totally all for that. I love like sudden shifts in movies.
Yeah.
It just felt different for me. But I mean, that's not really going to take much points off because it was just fun. It's just a fun movie. And one that's like, I'm totally going to be rewatching clips of this movie online on YouTube.
Yeah.
And re-experiencing them because it's like, I want to watch that crazy cool fight scene again, you know? So I'll do I'll do 198 for the vibe.
Okay.
It was a big vibe for me.
I am going to give it a 200.
Nice.
Especially the second half of the movie.
Oh, so good.
I was just sitting out on my couch watching this movie, and I made so many comments out loud or gasps or whatever, right? Because like somebody gets stabbed a certain way, and I'm like, oh my gosh, or you're just like, whoa, and just a bunch of different stuff. I was just super like entranced and focused as they were fighting and as the flashbacks were happening. I was just like, what is happening? It's what's interesting about it, and I don't know if this will make sense when it comes out of my mouth, but it was like fast paced without being fast paced.
Yeah.
It just felt like it was moving along super well, and everything that happened like had something exciting in it.
Right.
You know? So yeah, big vibes for me on this one. I really, really enjoyed it. Not perfect, but super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be perfect to have a 200 vibe, though.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What do we think we gave it? I'm going to say I gave it a 971. No. Yeah. You don't think so?
I'm going to do like a 981.
Okay. Oh, shoot. You're right. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, no, that's way too low.
Oh, okay. You gave it a 973.
Okay.
And I gave it a 987.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay. I was like, dude, you're way too low.
We were flipped. I thought I had given something in the 170s, and I was wrong.
No.
My lowest score is 189. This is a good movie, dude. This is one of my higher rated movies. It's just super fun, you know?
It's just fun. Fun movie.
Yeah. Okay, box office. If memory serves me right, I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like this wasn't in theaters for a super long time. Or maybe it was, but it just also went straight to streaming quickly.
It was this year, right?
Yeah, it was this year. Let me see if I can look up. I'm hoping I can look up the release date without seeing the box office. Monkey Man release date.
I might have
April 5th. So it's only been out for 3 months. April, May, June, July, August. It's been out 4 months.
I know it was rated well. I can see it won a couple awards.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right, let's take a box office guess. Okay, I got my number.
Okay, I got my number.
Okay, ready? You go first.
Okay,
1, 2, 3, go.
101.
264. Wow, 101. Oh, you're gonna kick my butt.
I don't know. I didn't hear a ton about it.
I know, me neither. That's why I'm like, I think I'm just hoping. If what I'm seeing is accurate, we are both so far off. Oh, ouch. Okay, $10 million budget, which, wow.
Oh, okay.
It grossed $34.1 million.
Yeah. I didn't think...
honestly, or 30, this says 35.
Yeah, 35 on Box Office Mojo. But it looks... I don't really think it was released much in international.
Oh, really?
I don't know. It only
only made $9 million.
Yeah, so... And I don't see, like, China or anything on here.
Yeah.
So it might have... I don't think it was very popular outside of just domestic.
It's still like a decent return, though, honestly.
Yeah. From $10 million.
If you make money on a movie, you've done something right?
Oh, yeah.
In the end, that's kind of how we work, you know.
You've done something right, and you've put a name out for yourself that gives you the opportunity to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So
for sure,
props to him.
Yeah, and especially, I mean,
movie.
there will still be statistics of how good it does on Peacock and all that. So,
right.
Because I do feel like it went to streaming quickly, but because hasn't it been on there for a couple months now?
At least like a month.
Yeah,
definitely, maybe even more.
Yeah,
but I bet it's doing pretty well on Peacock.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else about this movie?
No.
Okay. Big recommend.
Yeah.
Good fighting movie.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's close to a Billy. It's at like 9 something.
Are 903 million.
Inside Out's going to do more. I think Inside Out's going to do more than projected now because it's already at 155.
Yeah. Inside Out is just going crazy.
It's going gangbusters.
Yeah, we're at 1559 right now.
My guess is it'll do 17. You don't think so?
It'll go that far. I don't know.
It's at freaking, well, yeah, I guess.
I don't know what it's still doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's crazy, dude. I did not expect that.
No, not at all. That is far surpassing all of our expectations. And it will end up being, unless I'm mistaken, besides Avatar, it's going to be the highest grossing movie we've ever reviewed.
Yeah.
It's like Avatar, then
Barbie
Mario.
would be next.
And then I don't think we don't even have another $1 billion movie, except for all of the Harry Potters combined.
Oh, Barbie.
Really? Why am I missing that?
Yeah, Barbie was like
I didn't ever write
1.4.
down the total for Barbie. That's why.
Oh, yeah. Barbie's like 1.4 or something.
Did it really do that much?
Yeah, let's see. Barbie. Yeah, 1.445.
Jeez, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's some dollar bills.
Yeah, it was more than the Mario movie.
Dang.
Oh.
Were those in the same year, too?
Yeah. Yeah, they were like freaking like a few months apart, too.
Interesting. And then you're going to win. I mean, my guess is you win Deadpool and Wolverine.
You think? I mean, it still has to get like 300
dude,
more million to be in the middle.
But they're $50 million away from my guess. No, sorry. They're $100 million away from my guess.
They're 100, yeah. But they're 500 million from my guess.
I guess so, but it's been out for 2 weeks.
I know.
Total. So you've got that one in the bag. You've got Quiet Place in the bag.
It still seems like it'd be a lot to do another 300 million, though.
Yeah.
So
out of the two of us, you've got Inside Out in the bag. So you're racking up some wins here.
Oh, yeah.
Which you needed them.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Okie dokie.
Okay.
Well, that's all for today's episode of Reaction Time.
Yep. Join all of our stuff.
Yeah, go follow all the things you want to follow and leave us a review.
Our Discord is cool and new now. So
yeah. If you're a Discorder, head on over.
If you're a Discorder. But
yeah, join us next week for rap ends all competitions. Trap is other naked things. What's her name? Idina
Isabel
Menzel. Elsa.
Okay, that was pretty good. Adele Dazeem is what you're supposed to say.
Adele Dazeem? What is that?
That's what freaking... Oh my gosh, did you never hear about that? Her name got pronounced wrong at the Oscars?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that.
By what's his bucket? Oh my gosh.
Joe Byron.
No. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm drawing. But the guy that does the splits on the trucks with Enya playing.
Okay, I've never heard of that. Okay, bye everybody. No,
what?
Bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, hold on. You have not ever seen this?